Okay, let's talk about this fucking ending. So, if you haven't seen the film, the way this film works is they find this magic tunnel in the film, and when you go into the tunnel, it's like time moves way faster outside the tunnel than it does inside. So, like, I think it's like they conclude like 10 seconds inside the tunnel is like an hour or so outside the tunnel. So, the big thrust of this film is Tono finds like the sandal of his dead sister in the tunnel, and then he finds a parakeet that had died in the tunnel, and he brings it out of the tunnel, and the parakeet's still alive. And so the big thrust of the film is that Tono goes into the tunnel. He wants to go into the tunnel and rescue his sister, like bring his sister back so that it'll fix his family. And now at first it's just like they think the tunnel will just like grant a wish or something, and so Hanashiro's wish is to have the talent to become a great manga artist, because she was really inspired by her grandfather, who was kind of a failed manga artist. It's very Bakuman. It's very Bakuman in a lot of ways. In fact, it's almost exactly Bakuman in a lot of ways. Now her plot, and eventually, like, it gets to the point where Hanashiro actually like submits something to a manga publisher, and they want to hear back from her. They actually think that she has something to her. And so Tono decides to go into the tunnel without her instead of taking her with him, because he thinks she should stay in this world and that he has nothing except finding this thing. Now, eventually he goes into the tunnel. He has this weird, like, back-in-time dreamscape sequence where he talks to his sister and finds out that he is actually, like, and comes to the conclusion that he is in love with Tono. Or not, no, he is in love with Hanashiro and wants to go see her again. Now, again, like, years and years are passing outside of this. And so by the time he finally reunites with Hanashiro at the end of this, there is an 8-year time difference. So he is, what, like 16, 17? And so she's like 24 or 25 at this point. And the film just implies that she has never gotten over this. That she has not moved on from the 1 month that she spent with this dude. Now again, in fairness, it's because of him that she ended up submitting her manuscript in the first place, so I can see how she would treasure that friendship a lot. But it's a very teenager way to look at romance, because she finds him in the tunnel, and then they spend like 5 more outside years in the tunnel. I don't know, it's like 7 hours or whatever how long that is. And so then they get out of the tunnel and they kiss, and so it's implied like they're going to be like in a relationship now. But setting the age gap thing aside, because that's a real complicated way to look at things. Well, no, let's address that right now. At this point, Hanashiro has lived 8 more years of life than Tono has. So she is an adult. He is still a teenager. That's kind of weird. He is an older teenager. It's still kind of weird. It doesn't bother me a lot, because they knew each other because weird time travel bullshit. That doesn't bother me nearly as much as the fact that 8 years later, she still has deep romantic feelings for this guy that she spent a month with in high school. And I don't know how to... No, I do know how to feel about that. It's not... It makes no goddamn sense. Listen, I've had crushes that went way longer than that. Or I've known people for way longer than a month that I have crushes on, whose names I've already forgotten. Even though they were really important to me at the time. It just doesn't... I can't accept that. I cannot accept that this woman had a full 8 years of life, like finished, graduated high school, became a successful, like a semi-successful manga artist, and is still holding on to the romantic feelings that she had for this dude she knew in high school for a month. Like, it's not even like she's texting him like every week or every month or anything. There are like year-long gaps in the text messages that she sends him while he's in the tunnel. So, I just don't buy it. I don't buy that in any way whatsoever. And the other problem I have with this ending, I mentioned in the spoiler-free review that it's kind of this unhappy medium between full sappy teenage, like, happy ending and, like, full dark drama. The sappy happy ending, which I would have liked, is dream sequence happens and he just, like, and it's revealed that the tunnel doesn't just grant you wishes, it gives you a chance to get back what you've lost. Now, when I heard that, I thought it was going to go the sappy, happy ending route of he's learned to treasure what he has, and so now he just gets to Deus Ex Machina out of the tunnel, back in time to when she is still, when Hanashiro is still in high school, like maybe only like an hour or so, like a day or so has passed. That would have made sense, like, both thematically, in terms of like he's learned to move past his traumas because of what other people have provided him, and also, like, narratively, it's a lot more satisfying. Now, the grimdark ending would be, like, she just completely moves on without him, and he comes out of the tunnel, like, years and years later. That would not have been a satisfying ending. It would have been more thematically interesting, but it would not have been a satisfying ending. So that's why I see this as, like, a unhappy medium. Like, narratively does not make any fucking sense whatsoever. And also, it doesn't really, like, it doesn't function, the tunnel doesn't function properly in that instance. Like, the tunnel doesn't serve its purpose there. Because, like, there's a shot where, like, he falls down as he's running out of the tunnel to go see Hanashiro again. And it, like, cuts to black. And I was assuming that would be the point of, like, okay, he's going to wake up, like, outside the tunnel or something, and it's just going to be present day. But it doesn't do that. Like, he wakes up in Hanashiro's lap, but it's, like, 8 years ahead of time, Hanashiro. So, I am just immensely frustrated by this ending, and I really think it kills this story. Also, we don't get a resolution to the dad subplot, the abusive dad subplot, where I assume Tono would probably, like, reconcile with the fact that his dad has moved on, Although not in a healthy way, because he did not tell his son that he was dating someone at all. This ending's a mess, man. Because, like, and again, I know a lot of stuff was cut from the novel. I keep hearing about how much stuff was cut from the novel. But even if you added in a bunch more stuff, that ending presumably is still there, and the ending is why I ultimately am not a fan of this movie. As Arcada says, the ending is paramount, and this ending is not good. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the ending, I guess. What would you have liked to see for the ending of this film? Or did you like the ending of this film? Let me know in the comments below. Fuck it, I'll see you when Digimon comes out.